Picture this, a lonely village or town oppressed by some force, maybe the local tyrant, maybe a vampire baron, maybe some wild wolf or dragon in the countryside. A bunch of adventurers arrive, heroically defend the town or save it and kill the oppressor, and everyone rallies around them and everything, and they celebrate them, and everything is fantastic. Is it going to happen like that? No, because there's always going to be local politics, and they're always going to interplay, and the scenario is virtually never going to play out that way. From the adventurer's point of view is, here's this town. We go in, we save it, we claim money, we claim rewards, or whatever it is, and then we move on to another town, another place. The town, on the reverse, they've lived there. They've lived their lives. Maybe their grandparents are there. They know everything. There's long-term friendships and enmities. And whatever is going wrong with the town, if it's something that's been there for a while, then it's woven themselves into the structure of the town. If it's a tyrant, well, a tyrant is probably going to have quite a lot of the local support on its side. If it's a vampire baron oppressing there, well, if it's gone on long enough, you're going to have some local enforcers for the baron. You're going to have some groups that feel, well, at least he maintains order, or keeps the unruly elements down, or this is how it's supposed to be. It's a punishment for our sins, and we've adjusted to this thing. Or maybe they're just, yeah, it's inevitable. The adventurers have come before, have tried it, they've all died. We don't want to have anything to do with these people. And if we help them at all, we're doomed as well. And even if it's just a lone wolf or dragon in the countryside massacring something, then there's the local militia. They should have got it. They didn't got it. How did these foreigners, with their strange, different culture, their uncleanliness, their weird accents and odd food and complete lack of manners, how did they do it? It's probably something really dodgy or not worth it. So they're inevitably going to confronted by local politics. As I say, they're the outsider, they're the unclean. So they're not just going to be able to stroll in and, hey, we're here to save you, everybody band together with us. Even the ones who are on their side, as I say, there's politics. So maybe it's a family that's, let's go with the vampire baron there. It's a family that wants to get rid of him, and they're sort of would like to support him, but there's a long time enmity with another one that has more made their peace with them, and the supporting family can't make too overt a gesture. Maybe they can do some discreet, deniable help, and that's easier if, say, the adventurers are discreet and blend in, then maybe you can slip them some little bit of help. If they come in brashly, maybe this is the symbol of all the past adventurers that have failed and it's dangerous to be associated with, so even their allies might back off. So basically, if another example, in the Second World War, Britain and the US were basically the best allies that you could get practically in history. They have extraordinarily similar cultures, they had the same language, and they were fighting a clearly agreed upon common foe. And yet when the American troops were in Britain, there was a lot of friction, a lot of issues that had to be managed. It could be managed, but you didn't expect the British. Okay, the British were grateful for the Americans, maybe as a whole, but you wouldn't necessarily expect the local Brits to be particularly grateful for the local brash Americans who came in and their cigarettes and swept all the women away. So yes, so there's always going to be a local politic aspects, and if you can dig into this, you can get some really interesting stories going, especially if you can mix it in with culture and reward your players for knowing or finding out about the places before they get there, and at least preparing their approach or tailoring their approach. Anyway, so that is something that local politics is something you'll find everywhere, and could be put to great use in an adventure. Thanks for listening.